Hello and welcome to 88 Restaurants. In this video, we'll show you the basics of setting up and managing your menu for online ordering. That includes setting your main hours, creating menus, dividing your menus into categories, and adding meals. We will also show you how to set up modifiers and assign them to meals, as well as sorting and copying menus. Keep in mind, this is the first video in a multi-part series. To get started, log into 88 Restaurants and visit Tools, Orders and Menus. Here you can access all the settings related to online ordering. We recommend starting by setting your main hours using this tab. This is where you set your restaurant's main hours. For each day of the week, you can select the time you open, as well as the time you close. You also have a checkbox to mark the entire day as closed. For breaks between shifts, you can click on the plus icon. This allows you to add separate time slots. This can be useful if your restaurant is closed between lunch and dinner. While creating your restaurant's main hours can be tedious, it should only take a couple of minutes to complete. And remember, after setting the hours, to not forget to click the Save Changes button. With your restaurant's main hours created, it's now time to create menus. Head to the Menus tab and click Add Menu. To start, you can give your menu a name. If your restaurant only has one menu, we suggest calling it Main Menu. If you offer separate menus like lunch, brunch, dinner, or catering, then you will set up each menu individually. Next, choose where this menu will be visible. You'll see options for Show on Smart Menus and Show on Online Ordering. If you're unsure about smart menus, be sure to watch our video covering the feature. In short, it's an easy way to add your menus to your website. If the menu is available for online ordering, you must assign it hours. If your restaurant only has one menu, then these hours will match your main hours that we set up earlier. If you have multiple menus, such as breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you can assign different hours to each one. One last thing to point out here is your smart menu description. This is displayed on your smart menus as seen here. Once everything is set, scroll down and select Save Changes. If you need to make changes later, simply click on the menu and you can make your changes here. Next, we'll show you how to organize your menu into categories such as appetizers, entrees, and desserts. In the Menus tab, select your menu and then hit Add Category. You can give your category a name, description, and subdescription. By default, the menu will be set to whichever menu you are on. However, you can change that with this drop-down. Again, we have the option to show on smart menus and/or online orders. When finished, hit Save Menu. To edit the category, just click on the category in the sidebar, and you can edit here. I do want to point out these icons. A check mark in the left icon means enabled on smart menus, and a check mark in the right icon means enabled on online ordering. Now we will cover how to add meals to categories. With the category open, select Add Meal. First, enter the name, description, and amount. While descriptions are not required, we highly recommend you add one, as we've noticed a trend that restaurants with better descriptions get more orders. Then you have the option for meal type. These icons will show up on your menu if selected. Next is the option to attach modifiers. Examples of a modifier would be adding chicken, steak, or shrimp to a salad, or in this case, selecting your sauce for fried pickles. We will be covering modifiers in more detail in the next section. You can also enable or disable the option to allow customers to add special instructions, such as asking for the item to be extra crispy or to hold the cheese. You also have the option to show or hide the meal on smart menus and/or online ordering. Next is the option to add a photo. While photos are not required, we highly recommend you load a photo for your meal. Just make sure they are landscape and at least 500 by 500 pixels with the delicious part in the middle. The last option is to mark this meal as special. We will be covering specials in their own video. When finished, hit save. Now that you know how to create meals, let's cover how to set up modifiers, which lets customers customize their meals, whether it's through selecting proteins for a salad, the temperature for a steak, or the side for their entree. From any tab, click over to the Modifiers tab. This is where you will create and edit modifiers. To create a modifier, select Create New Modifiers. Before creating any modifiers, we recommend adding meals until you get to a meal that needs a modifier, and then you can go and add that modifier. That way you can use it again for other meals. For example, you may have the option to add chicken, shrimp, or steak to salads and pastas. So you may create a modifier called Add a Protein. Then you can include the instructions such as would you like to add a protein. Then you can set your limits. Limits can be a little cumbersome to understand at first. In this example, the salad can be ordered without a protein, meaning it is not required to choose a protein. In this case, the minimum limit will be set to 0. If the customers are only allowed to select one protein, then the maximum limit will be set to 1. So for this example, we will allow customers to select all 3 proteins if desired. So we will set the maximum limit to 3. The max limit can also be left to 25 because there are not more than 25 options. And now we can add the items to the modifier. To do so, select Add New Item and enter the name and price. Repeat this process for all of your items. Next, we'll do a modifier example for sides. In this example, a side is included with the entree and the customer must choose one and only one side. So we will set the minimum and maximum limits both to 1. Because the sides are included with the entree, we will enter a price of 0. Now when a customer selects an entree with this modifier, they will be required to choose one side. As you can see, they cannot add the meal to their cart until a side is chosen, and once a side is chosen, they are unable to select any more. Lastly, let's review adding a modifier to a meal. Remember, the name of the modifier is what you, as the restaurant, will see, and the instructions is what the customer will see. So from the Menus tab, select your menu, and then the category, and lastly, the meal you'd like to add the modifier to. Scroll down to the Add Modifier section and select all that apply. Don't forget to hit save. And that concludes our section on modifiers, but I do want to note that there are many different ways and combinations to use them. It's a very powerful feature with a lot of possibilities, so feel free to get creative. Now let's go over sorting. We want to highlight the option to change the order of your menus, menu categories, and meals. Remember, you can always test your changes in real time by using the Preview Ordering link. For menus, drag and drop the menus to rearrange. This is common if you want to highlight a New Year's Eve menu or add daily specials, as you want your customers to see those menus first. To reorder menu categories, make sure you're under the proper menu and then select Reorder Categories. Then you just need to drag and drop to the new order, close the menu, and you'll notice that they were updated here. Meals operate the same way. Open the category and select Reorder Meals. Then just reorder and close the window. Then when previewing, you'll notice that the menus, categories, and meals will be in the new order. The last feature we will cover is how to copy menus. For some restaurants, lunch and dinner menus are mostly the same, but lunch has lower prices and has a few less items. If your restaurant operates like this, the copy menu tool can save you a ton of time. We recommend building the larger menu first. Then just scroll down and select the Copy Menu button. You will see the copied menu in your list of menus. It will have the same name as the menu copied with the word copy after. Just select on the new menu, and then you can update any categories or meals that need changing. Okay, that's it for this video. To recap, we covered setting your main hours, creating menus, dividing your menus into categories, and adding meals. We also showed you how to set up modifiers and assign them to meals, as well as sorting and copying menus. We know that's a lot of information to take in, so if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. As always, thank you for watching, and thank you for choosing 88 Restaurants.